Hello and welcome to Rarely Rad. Hailey and Isabel are here. And honestly, I need to hear a little bit about your weekend.
What about it?
Like, what did you do on Saturday?
I just went out.
I know, but like, where?
I don't know.
I
I mean, I
just heard
referencing.
nothing about it, and I knew you got lit, but that was it.
Oh yeah, no, I went to grab a couple drinks and then we were just gonna do dinner, as one does. And dinner turns into going out, meeting up with friends.
Did you go anywhere
And
fun?
yeah, I went to a couple new places that couldn't tell you what they're called. One's called like Bleecker Street Bar, which like wasn't really on Bleecker Street. I was like, sure, whatever. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was just like the regular going out stuff. It wasn't like anything special.
Well, does New York not do like big St. Patty's Day on Saturday?
They do if you're 22.
Oh, see, we still do that in Atlanta.
So, okay, that was one thing I noticed like here, and I think I was gonna actually ask you about this, like New York versus Charlotte. In Charlotte on St. Patrick's Day, everybody does St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
That's like what it is. In New York, everybody just has like a whole ass fucking life, and like there's like nobody doing St. Patrick's Day. I mean, there is further in like the younger parts of town, but I like kind of forget that other people have like lives that don't involve going out.
I also think that, like, maybe in New York, I feel like some people that have lived in New York for longer, they start to think like they're better than the younger people. And so they're like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I did that when I was like 22.
I don't think that was the case in this situation. I think people were just like, oh, yeah, like I just, because there was a marathon the next day. So I think a lot of people were, or a half marathon. So I think a lot of people were just involved in that. So they're like, well, I'm not going to go get drunk the day before I have to run a half marathon.
Yeah, understandable. I would not have been able to run a half marathon at all on Sunday with the state I was in.
And so I think that's why it wasn't like a big thing. I mean, I saw people wearing green and like there was no judgment. I don't think it was ever any one thing where it was like, oh, I'm better than you because I'm not doing it. I think it's just like, not that Atlanta's like a small city or anything, but like the people that are going out in Atlanta are like going out in Atlanta versus like New York being like more spread out. You can go out like anywhere kind of thing.
Well, and it has like a bajillion options since there's a million restaurants and bars in New York.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's like just other stuff to do, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was like running errands during the day. I was like being productive and then I got drunk.
Yeah, I did zero productivity. I got Friday night, we went out for a 25th birthday party.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we ended up at Dark Horse, and I was telling someone, and they were like, "Hailey, you at Dark Horse? You never go there." And I was like, "It was his birthday." So, like, I felt like I couldn't be like, "Absolutely not." And so we did that, and then we end up all back at Short Kings. And by all back, like, there's like 15 of us that go back to his apartment at like 3 a.m. The boys are playing Smash Bros until like 6:30 in the morning. It was horrendous. And finally, I was like, "We do realize it's like after 6 a.m., right?" And they were like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "Yeah." And this one guy just kept taking pre-workout shots. And like Short King said, he must have had
Like awake.
so apparently I had never met him before. Apparently, like he as soon as he walks in, he was like, "Do y'all have Adderall?" And everyone was like, "No." So then Short King was like, "I have free workout." And the guy was like, "Hell yeah, let's do it." And so Short King like fake made shots and well, he shots of pre-workout, not alcohol, like just made these shots in shot glasses and didn't give himself one. His was just water, Short King's. And because he was like, I'm not doing that 3 a.m. That'd be absurd. And so they took those. And then this kid was like fiending. It was like, let's do another one. Let's do another one. And I was like, whoa, okay.
That guy is like a cokehead. I just know
They
it.
literally was like, he did at least 900 milligrams of caffeine.
Why?
No idea. He wasn't drinking or anything, like at least at Short Kings, because we didn't have a whole lot of alcohol there left. And we had some beers, but like the boys were kind of drinking those. He wasn't drinking those, but I no idea. He wasn't playing Smash. He was just basically chilling and taking pre-workout shots. It was incredibly odd. But then we like all slept all over the place. I slept in the study on a couch. And then Saturday morning we got up and like at that point, like a decent amount of people had left. So there was only 4 of us. We were like, do we just keep it going? And so there we are doing the shot ski. Granted, it wasn't that early since we went to bed at 6. So it was like probably noon-ish. Went to Mexican, got hammered at Mexican. Then the boys pissed me off and I like rage quit on all of them. And I was like, I'm over you guys. And so I called myself an Uber home and then showered and got ready and then went out to where everyone goes for St. Patty's is Fido's, and it's like an Irish pub, and we have one in both like Buckhead and in Midtown. So the biggest thing is going to like the one where you know your friends are at. So luckily everyone this year wanted to go to the Buckhead one, which obviously is more convenient for me too. So I got ready, got dressed, went there and met up with some of my girlfriends. Immediately run into Lawyer. And I was like, cool. Which is fine. Like we say, hey, like not a big deal. And then I meet up with one of my other guy friends. We go around, we have fun. We like, it's like they close, it's a whole block party. There's bands and everything. So it's like a big thing. And I guess like they're just like the Irish pub that like everyone knows, like that's where you go on St. Patty's. So we did that. And then we were going to Elbow Room, run into one of our other friends. She's like, we're going to a pregame at and so we were like, okay, we'll go to that. So we walk there. And as we're walking there, we pass by Short King and all of them now in Shake Shack. So then they join us. We end up at a pregame. We all go out afterwards. We then run into P.
Jeez.
And P is with a girl. Not a surprise, but what was the surprise part? She's been on a date with Short King.
Oh, yikes.
So there I am with Short King and then all of P's friends. And then there's P and this girl. Oh, I'm also with Shelly. And so Shelly and I go up and say hi to P.
But
he said, I hope you're doing well or something like that. And I said, I'm doing better. And I walked away and that was that. Yeah. And then we went to 30. I got us kicked out of 30. And yeah, that was my Saturday night. And then Sunday, it was so nice out. I was like, this is drinking weather. I have to keep drinking. And so then I drank most of the day Sunday too.
Yeah, we went out some on Sunday. Our friend that did like the half marathon, she did like a little after party, I guess you want to call it. I don't know. I think the bar is like 2 blocks up from us. So it was great. And we were like the last people there.
I have that issue all the time. Like I never know when to leave an event.
I mean, I honestly couldn't, like, I don't have that issue. Like, I'll leave when I want to leave. I just didn't want to leave. So we were like the last people there. And we just went to Taco Bell right across the street. And I actually made a couple of friends that I'm going to probably grab like dinner with soon.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah. We like texted a little bit. She's actually doing 75 hard, like for real.
Like she's just taking it serious. Did she tell her about your 75 limp dick?
No, I said like I like did some stuff that involved like I was like reading and like doing like day-to-day stuff, but I was like I wouldn't really go as far as calling it. Like she wasn't drinking or anything.
Go her. Did she say she like felt a difference?
She was like honestly working out twice a day. She's like it's too much. I was like,
it's not sustainable.
Yeah, and she was like that was her last day and she's like I want to drink today, but she's like I'm not going to drink on the last day. She's like and I can't say I did 75 hard. She's like, I'm not going to break it on day 74. And I'm like, no, I totally get that. Yeah, but she's like, I haven't had a rest day in 75 days. She's like, I don't think that's like sustainable for like your body.
Yeah, I agree. Especially when they want you doing, I think it's 2 45-minute workouts.
I mean, one of them can just be a walk and one, but then still it's like, you still need just a day where maybe you're just walking or you're just not doing anything. Like, Yeah.
And also, I can imagine because one of them is supposed to be outside and I can't imagine, it sounds like she started it like January 1st.
Yeah.
And it's cold.
It's so cold. I mean, I don't know if she counted one of them like walking to the gym. I don't think so because she seemed like she was like, I'm doing it. Like
she took it serious.
Yeah. Like I would wonder if like, because I walk to the gym, it's like almost a mile and then they're almost a mile back. Yeah. I counted as a walk on my watch, but I'm not like I wouldn't count that as like my 2 workouts for the day.
Yeah, I agree. Especially when you live in New York, like how else were you gonna get there?
Yeah, like honestly the subway would have probably taken just as long. I might as well get the steps in.
Exactly. So, like, and you're not gonna taxi or anything, so your option is now it'd be one thing, I guess, like, if you were in Atlanta or, like, Charlotte or something where there are cars and you
Yeah.
choose to walk to the gym versus drive to the gym,
Yeah.
but in New York, like, your option's mainly walking.
Yeah, that's like because we're at that weather right now where so it was 35 when I walked to the gym this morning, but now it's like 55 and it feels good out and it's sunny. So it's like we're getting to that point where it's like warm in the afternoon and like cold in the morning. Like so I'm like
We're
on the way,
doing
yeah, on
we're
the way there
doing
I'm like puffer jacket, hoodie, and then on the way back I'm hot.
We on Saturday, the weather was so nice and warm and perfect, and then all of a sudden overnight, it got so cold here, and obviously I wasn't, like, outside, so I had no idea, and I just see, like, my neighbors walking by out my windows in, like, jackets and beanies, and I was like, "What are they doing?" And then I finally went outside, and I was like, "Oh, that's because it randomly got cold again." Got it. And then even this morning, I went on a run, and I wore, like, my leggings and a long sleeve shirt, which, like,
Yeah.
if it's, like, 50 degrees or higher, I don't usually do that,
Yeah.
and I did that this time, and then today I then decided to tan this afternoon, so
What was the temperature this afternoon for you to be able to go tan?
70?
Oh, that's pretty nice.
I
Yeah,
think
we're
that's, like, my favorite tanning weather because like, the UV was 8, it was 70 degrees, so you're not sweating, you're not hot, it's just, like, perfect outside.
yes, yeah, I'm like an 80 because I would get cold in 70-degree weather.
I don't think you would have today because we have no clouds or anything. In the 70 degrees, like if it's cloudy or breezy, I can see it getting like a little chilly. But today we have no clouds, no breeze, nothing. So it was like very, very, very warm.
New York me would be fine. Charlotte me would not be fine.
That's
New
so
York
true.
me is like walking in a hoodie at 60 degrees and it's sunny and windy, but like, yeah, it's a little chilly, but like it's fine. Charlotte me would be like bundled up right now.
Charlotte, you in 60 degrees would be like beanie, scarf,
Million
parka.
percent. Remember when it was like 83 and I was like, should I bring a hoodie?
Yes, and I was like, I had a fear for you because it was before winter, and I was like, "Oh, no. If this is how she's already feeling, what is she gonna do?"
I mean, when you first came up in October, like I was like, this is really cold for me. And like I was in my super puff. Now I wouldn't wear my super puff in that degree.
Yeah, I think people just adjust, and I would say I almost feel like people adjust faster than, like, I would think.
Yeah, I was surprised by like adjusting like this on Sunday. It was like 62. It wasn't sunny or anything, but it just felt warm out.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is perfect weather. It wasn't even
Who
sunny.
am
Yeah,
I?
like that would have been like, wow, that's super nice. Like, but in Charlotte, I would have been like, absolutely not.
Yeah, Burnett did, Chicago St. Patty's this weekend, and she got so lucky with the weather. St. Patty's Day was, like, 60 degrees. I was
Nice.
so jealous. When I did it, like, what, 3 years ago? The high was 8.
Yeah, no.
I was
It
like,
was
"What?" And she was like, "It was so funny because we loved how warm it was, and we were, like, just wearing our cute, like, outfits." And she was like, "But other people that, like, the Chicagoans were like, 'It's so warm,' wearing, like, T-shirts and shorts and everything." They were like, "We're not used to how warm it is right now."
yeah, no, there were people on Sunday when it was like not sunny, it was literally 62 and they were wearing shorts.
Just reminds me of the day when we were at the park.
Oh yeah, that was cold. I
That
run
was
cold
cold,
though.
and we're, like, shivering, and then there's, like, guys running shirtless in shorts. I'm like,
I
"Nice."
do get really hot when I run. Like I have to run in very minimal amount of clothing.
Yeah, I'm just always hot.
Yeah, I mean, because and like I'm not gonna run holding my hoodie, like that's
Oh,
fine.
yeah. That'd be awful.
One thing, it's been like all over my talk. I don't know if it's come up for you. I guess it was like this 7-part series somebody did on TikTok about Hailey Bieber
No.
being like obsessed with Selena Gomez. You always hear it and you're like, oh, da 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 da. She did like a 7-part series with her, like, what is it called? An internet footprint.
Yeah.
And it's like Selena Gomez being interviewed and like Hailey Bieber is like creepily in the back. This is like 15 years ago. This is, when she was like a Disney Channel kid. And then there's like an interview where like she's just in the back all the time. And then Hailey Bieber's on Ellen. She's like, do you know a lot about Justin Bieber? She's like, honestly, like I didn't really grow up like knowing a lot about him. And then this like just completely debunked through this little girl, or I don't know who it was, but did like this whole series. It is actually insane. And then it was like Justin Bieber called Selena Gomez 23 times on his wedding day. Like, yeah, and then Selena Gomez wrote a song about it. It's called Ring. And now Justin Bieber and Hailey have been come out on their stories apparently being, something like, if they're not talking about you, you're not relevant type of thing, like all that kind
God.
yeah,
Grow
like
up. That's like something you tell yourself in like sophomore year of high school.
it's actually weird, like the amount of interviews like Selena Gomez will be in, and then like Hailey Bieber will just like, she's like creeping in the back, like
And
interviews.
this is when like Selena would have been dating Justin now.
Yeah. And there's like
So,
tweets of her being like, I wish Selena and Justin would get back together. And then like 2 months later, she's dating Justin. Like, just weird stuff.
what if Hailey is a lesbian for Selena?
So there's this theory that there's like some weird like Hollywood arranged marriage situation. So I heard a theory about Hailey. She's a Baldwin. I don't know exactly which her dad is, but Hailey Baldwin, obviously. The Baldwins are decently famous.
Isn't Hailey Baldwin originally?
Yes, but the Baldwins, like, I don't know, there's like 4 or 5 of them. Like, I don't know how many there are, but one of them was like on SNL. Like,
okay,
yeah. Oh, do you remember? There was like the video of a lady that was like, her name was Hillary, but she said she was like Spanish and went by Hilaria and like
no.
I don't know. I just remember it was like 2020. It was like this whole thing because she like said cucumber weird or something. I can't fully remember.
Oh, yeah.
It's that family that Hailey is part of.
Uh-huh.
Apparently they were like doing they were having some financial issues. And so there was like an arranged marriage between Hailey and Justin to like kind of help them get out of that financial situation. Whether that is true or not, I don't know. I haven't looked too much into it. I don't even know how you confirm that or not,
Yeah.
But yeah, there's an interview in this 7-part series where Justin was like, yeah, it's kind of like an arranged marriage. Like literally says it on like Ellen.
What?
Yeah, you gotta find it. Yeah.
Celebrity marriages, I feel like some are typically like pretty arranged.
Like,
because
PR
like you can basically date or like get in touch with anyone. And so whoever you want to date, you basically just have to start the conversation.
What they do, or like my understanding is they'll be like, oh, I want my manager to hit up your manager and let him know I'm interested and set it up. It's like a weird thing. It's not just like, let me slide into your DMs. And I mean, some of it probably is, but like, I watched something when they were like, oh yeah, I just had my manager reach out to his manager to set it up.
Do we think like Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are like this?
I don't know. I think there's a lot more PR marriages than we realize.
Yeah, like Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively.
Yeah, now that's become like a PR marriage.
I think
because yeah, and like they look like this perfect couple, and like let's be honest, like they're probably not, and like which is normal. Like no couple is a perfect couple.
You know which one probably isn't? Beyonce and Jay-Z.
No, because I would have left that ass.
Yeah, unless Jay-Z has something over Beyonce, and it's like you can't do anything without me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only thing it could possibly be.
I know. And the only one I also don't think was, and only because it became such a problem, was Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Only because obviously he was with, but I could see him and Jennifer Aniston being a PR marriage because they were kind of like hot.
Oh, 100%. Like they were the perfect couple.
Yeah. In like what, 2002 or something. I don't even know what year it was. But like if they got back together, I'd be like, that's some PR shit.
Yeah. Or, another PR one, Mila Kunis and Ashton
Kutcher. Yeah, I can see that.
That had to be.
You know what couple I do kind of like? Brenda Song?
Yeah.
And with her husband,
she's with the Home Alone guy, right?
Yeah, I kind of like that.
It's just like such a random one.
It's like so random, but it's kind of like perfect in a weird way, because I feel like they would.
I think she's like really pretty and he's not.
Oh, 100%. But I don't know. Maybe he's got a really good personality. Wasn't he like a crackhead? Dude,
I think so.
Crackheads, there's like that crackhead on my street.
Yeah.
So like I kind of see him in the morning when I take the dog out, and I'm always like just wary. Like he seems pretty harmless, but he's just like cracking out. Today I saw him whip out a little knife. Yeah.
Like towards you or just in general?
No, like he was like going into this like convenience store, like a couple stores down from me. And I don't know 100% if it was a knife, but he was like moving the signs around and like going, he was just being like a crackhead. And then I saw him like whip it out and just be like, yeah. And like, I don't think it was like it was like a little pocket knife, but
Yeah,
honestly,
but still.
like I don't know 100% sure that it was a knife, but I would be very surprised if it wasn't, like what else? I don't know what else could have been.
No, that's kind of scary.
Yeah. So now I'm like head on a swivel. Like,
I feel like these days, like I hear these crazy stories, and so I'm always kind of head on a swivel. One day I was running on Bobby Jones, and there was this little boy riding his bike, and he was like sharpening a stick, and the stick was definitely like very pointy. And I
oh,
just then was like imagining him jousting someone with it or something. I was just like,
no, I keep an eye on that stuff too. I'm like, absolutely not.
and I don't have any self-defense things, so I don't know what I
Honestly,
would do.
I need to start bringing my pepper spray around more, I think. I mean, I'm fine. But like honestly, then I see that little cracked out dude with a knife, and I see him almost every day.
Yeah, I yesterday so I don't know if you remember this story, like, this was now years ago. I was driving with one of my old convertibles, and I stopped at a light, and I had my roof open, and this, like, crackhead homeless guy, like, kept talking to me, and he was just like, I could end your life. I could end your life, like, blah, blah, blah. You're just a woman. I could end your life." And I'm, like,
Okay.
sitting at a light, can't move anywhere, like, oh my god. Luckily, I was on the phone with my dad, so but finally, the light like, the girls behind me were, like, honking their horn, I think, to try and, like, scare him, but
Yeah.
nothing happened, and then the light finally turned green, and then the next light we stopped at, they actually pulled up next to me, and they were like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "That was so scary." Like, the guy even threw his little homeless sign into my car,
Oh my
and
goodness.
it was terrifying at the
I'm just not
time.
really used to like that wasn't like a thing in Charlotte really. So like
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
true.
It's a kind of
I
it's scary to think about.
Yeah, well, and then so yesterday, truly, my brain wasn't wet yesterday, it just wasn't at all working. Like, it was like a phone that was just dead and just, like, it needed to be charged all day yesterday, like, my brain was just done. And for some reason, I thought it was a good day to go grocery shopping. And so I'm in there like, "Oh my god, what am I doing?" As soon as I leave, I go to Aldi, so I have to, like, park my cart back in, plug them together, and get my quarter out. As soon as I walk out, there's a homeless guy that's like, can I have your quarter? Can I have your quarter?" And at first I'm ignoring him, and I'm just trying to put my cart where it needs to go, but there's
Right.
another homeless guy that's, like, all up in the cart area, and he's moving so slow that I can't put my cart in, and I finally a random person came up to go shop, and I said, "Just take my cart." And I literally, like, panic laughed. I was like, "Get me out of here right now." That was so not needed, and my brain does not work. I cannot fathom any of that right now. And then on the way home from the grocery store, I first passed the USPS where someone pulled their brand new, I don't even know if it was theirs. There's a Land Rover dealership, and then there's a USPS right next to each other. Someone pulled a car out of the dealership and rammed it into the USPS. There's cops and I mean, I see caution
Wow.
tape everywhere. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Then I finally get closer to my house, and of course, there's a homeless guy. Like, right really close to where I live. Like, we usually don't have homeless people this close, and my roof is open, and he walks over, and he's just shaking his cup, like, over my car, and I was like, "I'm sorry, I don't have anything." And then he just kept doing it and kept doing it, and I was like I literally, like, waved my arms, and I was like, "I don't have anything." Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I need to learn how to say that in Spanish, I don't know, but I was
I
just
just think
like
you didn't say anything at all. I don't know. I don't know. That's how I've learned to do it. Because Austin would be like, "Oh, I don't have anything," and then they try to fight him in New York. He'll be like, "Sorry, I don't have anything," and this lady like started running after him and screaming profanities at him.
it's so hard for me because, like, some of them, like, are such, like, good people that have been put in, like, such a shitty situation, and,
Right.
like, we have some really good ones in Atlanta, like, where they just have signs that are like, "God bless," just trying to do whatever. And
Yeah.
I like listened to a podcast several years ago, and it was just saying like even if you just like smile at a homeless person, like it can like make their day a little bit better. So there's days where I try to do that, but you never know that homeless person. That could be a homeless person that needed that smile, or that could be a homeless person that you smile at them and they're like, let me chase after them now.
Literally.
And you just don't know.
I mean, it's just like being homeless is like, it's so sad, but it takes a lot to get to that point, I think. Like, I always think about that, and like I am fortunate enough to have so many options that if I were to lose my job and my home, I would have my parents or friends or somebody who is like there to like help me, just support me for like a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I have,
Yeah.
it's like I always wonder like how that happened for other people. Like where did
I think it can just be like a series of unfortunate events of
yeah.
like just one thing after another, and then like it just doesn't work out. But there are ways for sure that they can help themselves. And then I think that's like where it becomes hard because like where FSU is in Tallahassee, that's the capital. So there's a ton of homeless people there, and there's huge homeless shelters, but you're not allowed in the homeless shelter if you're doing drugs or if you're drunk. Well, a lot of them don't care.
Yeah.
And they probably think, I won't get caught, whatever. And so then they do it anyway, and then they get caught, and then they have no place to live.
I don't know.
But I do think if I were ever homeless, I would want to be a Florida homeless person so I'm not freezing.
I know every time I walk, like this is for as long as I can remember, every time I'm on a walk, I'm always like, okay, that looks like a good spot to sleep if I were homeless. Like, even though I'm like nowhere near that point, like, I do it all the time. Like the
Keep yourself humble.
no, like literally, I'm like, okay, like where our friend LB lives, Austin used to live there, and on the light rail part, there's like it's like part of the building, but it's like fenced. And I'm always like, dude, all I have to do is break the fence, and then I just sleep under like that's such good shelter. Like I think about this every time I pass it, and I used to walk there every day.
It's one of those thoughts that you have, and you're like, why am I even having this thought?
I have like so many spots that I'm like, okay, that's a good spot to be if I'm homeless. Like I need it. Like
If I ever get to that point in life, that's where I'm going.
that's like the spot, yeah. And I'm like, okay, like it looks like people are sleeping on the vents for heat during the wintertime, and like, and for the subway, I'm like, I need to like keep that in mind in case for whatever reason I'm planning on being homeless anytime soon. I don't know.
You'll be prepared. You'll
I'm
know
prepared.
you'll know all the spots.
I really will. I have it like all figured out.
That's hilarious.
So I was talking to somebody this weekend, and I think we might have briefly discussed this on the podcast. I know you and I had discussed it when we were in person, but like butter yellow being like the color of the season.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if somebody was wearing it, or I was like, yeah, somebody mentioned it. I think they had to wear it as a bridesmaid's dress or something. I was like, yeah, I think that's going to be really popular this summer. I was like, I've kind of looked that into some like butter yellow golas with like a blue, with like the blue. I've been like looking into that. And she was like, yeah, like I've been kind of like thinking, I've like liking that color too. And then we're like talking about it, guys are there, and they're like, okay, so like what color is that? I'm like, butter yellow. I don't know, it's like buttery yellow. They're like, what kind of butter? I don't fucking know, dude. Butter.
Unsalted.
I was just like, I don't know, like country crock butter, like whatever that brand needed. I don't know. I'm not paying attention to that kind of like level of detail. Like,
slow churned and whipped.
Well, then I wish I got the exact quote that he said, but this guy was Venmoing his friend, and he, you put a description of what you're sending, and he put something like funding Osama bin Laden, and it's like a movie quote from Zero Dark 30. I don't know if those were the exact words, but something like terrorist for Venmo.
Did he get banned?
Oh yeah, he got banned. He had to like email Venmo and like they were like, we've noticed some like terrorist like domestic or not international terrorism going on over here, like da 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 da. So it took him like forever to get back onto Venmo. He was like, dude, just don't do it. And I was like, I'm kind of not surprised. I was like, also like, why would you do that? Like,
I've had friends that's happened to. It's good to know that it's now, it doesn't sound easy, but like you can get your account back. Because I had friends when Venmo was still like fairly new, and like we were in college, so like obviously we're just doing dumb shit all the time.
yeah,
And they would just no longer have Venmo, and that was it. They couldn't get it back. Venmo was like, sorry, you're banned.
yeah.
Done.
Well, that's the thing with Venmo too, is like if you have money in there and it's like Venmo isn't FDIC insured, you're not getting your money back.
Oh, true.
Yeah, like that's like that one Austin got his phone stolen. He meant to send his friend $100, accidentally sent him 1,000. The guy sent him back, the 1,000 and whatever. Of course, that same day he didn't transfer it directly back into his account because he's like, I'm on a bad trip. I know I'm going to be Venmoing. Might as well just leave it in here till the end of the weekend type of thing.
Yeah.
We got stolen, $1,000 gone.
That's okay. Isn't Venmo now owned by PayPal?
They might be, but PayPal's also not. I don't think they're FDIC insured. A lot of those money transferring companies aren't because they don't own the funds.
I kind of think PayPal might be. I could be wrong, but even like back when my Venmo or my PayPal got hacked and everything, I was able to get my money back, and because I had a few $100s in my PayPal. And PayPal now has like cards and stuff.
Yeah, they're not, but they're not a bank. Like only banks can be FDIC insured. Like Austin got his $1,000 back from Venmo because they were like, okay, we believe you. There's enough evidence that your phone was stolen and you're not just like being a creep or a weirdo, whatever. But yeah, like those those like money transferring companies.
PayPal isn't.
Yeah, they don't own the funds. This is my job, babe.
She's good at what she does.
Yeah, so since they don't own the funds, they're not FDIC insured.
We got our acceptance today, or like the official proof for our showroom.
Oh yeah.
So that was super exciting. And I gotta we met yesterday with our first CPA. Well, I guess our only CPA. I don't know. And then tomorrow we have a meeting with our financial institute bank. I don't know. With it starts with an R.
With the bank?
Yeah.
Oh.
Whatever bank. I don't know.
Regions?
Yeah. It honestly might be.
Oh, okay. I just know they're a bank, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really know anything either. My coworkers kind of handled all that part since I was traveling for work 100 days.
So does your company launch officially this month, or it's after April?
I think so. We're still trying to kind of fully get figured out. We don't have an EIN or anything yet. So we start paying rent on May 1. So
Okay.
we have to have funds before May 1 in
Yeah.
order to pay that rent. And we have to, since the leases are getting transferred over to us from the previous showroom, we will have to have a business and everything to transfer them over. So
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, we have the LLC, so maybe it started now. I don't really fully.
Yeah, I mean, once you have the LLC, you're technically able to start making transactions and expensing stuff and all that, however all that fun stuff works. I don't know too much about it, but I know that once you have it, it's just you can technically just start.
Yeah. So technically, yes, but we're still working. We have market in 2 weeks. So we're still old showroom and everything. More of our brands now know about the transition, and we're starting to tell some of the stores.
Oh, that's good.
But that's more on my boss, since obviously once we announce it, everyone's gonna be like, oh my God, and want to talk to him. And
Yeah.
so he's on the road this week, so we decided collectively that we'd do that next week.
That makes sense.
But yeah, super exciting things. I had to tell my New York City job no this morning, but I did tell her it wasn't because I'm going to another job, like, I'm actually starting a company, just so, like, it didn't sound like I was, like, kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah, no, and that makes sense. Did they respond to anything or
Yeah, she did, because she was the one that I, like, had the phone call interview with when I was at your place, and,
Yeah.
like, she's so nice and was like, "I feel like I'm talking to my younger self." So when I told her, she was like, "Wait, so are you doing this in New York or in Atlanta?" Like, blah, 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 and I was like, "Well, technically home base will be Atlanta, but, like, I hope I can grow it enough to where, like, I can live sometime in New York
Yeah.
and whatever." And she was like, "Oh my gosh, that sounds, like, so amazing, like, good luck, whatever." And then, like, an hour later, she added me on LinkedIn. So, like, I feel like we're friends now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's positive, and then also, like, like, you know, if you ever decide to leave and enter corporate America, it seems like the door is kind of like it's not closed, you know? You didn't, like, end on bad terms.
Yeah, which is exactly what my goal was because, like, who knows what's ever gonna happen in my life? I barely know what's ever happening in my life.
I don't even remember what I did this last weekend, so
Yeah, me either. Also, have you kept up with your habit tracker?
yeah, I'm pretty good about it. I mean, I haven't updated it since, like, Thursday because the weekends I kind of I
Yeah,
mean, I
I'm the
know what I
same.
did and didn't do, but but,
I updated mine today, and I feel like I've not been very good the month of March.
February was rough for me with everything. March, I've been a lot better, but back to sobriety for me.
After this weekend, Isabel and I were like, "So, maybe no more drinking again?"
Yeah, I'm gonna take it back to being, like, a little sober Sally for a little bit. I don't even,
Yeah,
like
another drinking hiatus.
I mean, it's like I go all in or I go all out, you know what I mean? There's no in
No,
between.
and I've known that about myself, and that's how Short King is that way too, and, like, we were talking about it because I was like, we have this issue where, like, we don't just, like, kind of casually have, like, a drink or 2. Like, and I know my limit, like, once I hit 3 drinks, I'm drinking. I'm going for it.
See, I yes, when usually I hit 3 drinks, I'm like, "Let's keep going," but I can also be like, "It's a Thursday, I know I have to work tomorrow," like, I'm might grab one more, but I also, like, I have to go. Like, I will call it a night.
If I've had 3 and it's a Thursday and I'm like, maybe I'll grab one more," I just know that's, like, when I'm at now, even if it's, like, 10 PM then, like, if I'm getting that one more, I'm now not getting home until 2 AM. I just
Oh,
know
see,
it.
I'm not like that.
I am. Somehow the vibes just keep going, and then I find after parties, and then next thing you know, it's 4 AM, and I'm like, "Wow, why am I so tired the next day?"
See, I don't do that. Like I'm very honestly I'm very good at like actually being able to take myself home and like monitoring myself. I just kind of sometimes just choose not to. Like, but like I in that like in the moment I'm like I know exactly what I'm doing. I could keep going or I could not.
Yeah, sometimes we YOLO.
I do that a little too often, but
Oh,
yeah.
did you see you know who Courtney Shields is?
Yeah.
Did you see she got engaged?
Yeah, I did.
I'm kinda jealous because I kinda wanna date her boyfriend. Well, I guess her now fiancé.
Yeah, I think you're yeah. I don't know how long they've been together. I thought they I feel like she hard launched him like 6 months ago. It might have been longer than that, but it doesn't feel like that
I
long.
I don't think to the public eye, they've been together very long. I think they've been together much longer, though, than we think. I was, like, looking at the timeline because I'm pretty sure she's gotten divorced, engaged, broken off the engagement, and now engaged again, all since, like, I've basically had, like, a serious relationship.
Honest and part of me doesn't trust girls like that.
I love her, like, so, 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 so much, but I was just like, "Huh, okay." I do think I agree with her, and I always thought her first marriage was, like there just wasn't something fully right
Yeah.
there, and I did like the guy, but, like, you could just tell they didn't really like each other type of thing,
Yeah.
or they weren't meant to be together, and then she got this new guy and or the middle guy, and it was really fast with them. Like, they basically started dating and immediately, like, they were engaged and everything. She hasn't said, like, too many words about it, but she has said, like, it was a very abusive relationship. And so she is who cut off that engagement. I kind of think, like, I mean, as a girl that experiences this, I think she was just fully love bombed by a narcissist who would then just like bought a ring.
No, I think that's probably what happened, and then when you're getting love bombed, you just think it's, like, love, and it's really just
Yeah,
narcissistic
and I'm
behavior.
sure like especially dating after a breakup or like after marriage and you have a kid, I'm sure there's like kind of a mind game in there of like, will anyone ever love me type of thing. Like now I've now been divorced. I have a kid. Like, are someone gonna love me and my kid as much as I love my kid? And so I'm sure she kind of just fell into this and this guy came in and that is what it is. And so that ended. And then we didn't hear about the newest guy's name is Austin. We didn't hear about him for, I think, a very long time. And then she slowly got more and more and more comfortable. And I would say, because all of a sudden she posted him and then she was like always posting him. So I feel like at that point they had kind of had that conversation like, we're getting married. And I honestly think they already lived together when she finally posted him.
Probably, or, like, we're at least close to.
Yeah, because he has a dog and everything, and she obviously has her, like, massive house, and his dog was always at her house,
Yeah,
and
probably.
so and I mean, she split custody with her ex, so I guess they could have gone to his place, but I know he works from her house too, so I think he moved in, like, I don't wanna say early, but I think he literally already lived in the house before we knew about him.
Probably. Probably, and she probably, like, since she's, like, a public figure, doesn't, like, probably feels like she's, like, the next person I launch, like, I want it to be, like, a serious thing since I don't wanna just read the comments and it just be, like, a bunch of scrutiny against me and, like, how I'm, like, this type of person even though
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes I think that about myself after all of my previous past failed relationships. I'm like, yeah, my next time I hard launch, like it's my engagement day.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, basically.
Because at this point, I don't really know. I had 2 dates planned for this week, and I think I'm just gonna ghost them both.
Really? Oh, yeah,
I
wasn't
just
that
like
one guy that annoyed you?
yeah, the one that, like, wouldn't make a plan with me and everything, and I just, like I don't feel like doing it, and luckily, we don't have an like, we had a day and a time, but we didn't have a place, so it's not like he's gonna show up someplace and get, like, stood up and ghosted.
Yeah.
He's just not we're just not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I just don't feel like it. I'm over it. I'm getting ready for hot girl summer. All right, y'all. We're hopping off. Is having to get back to work. So we will talk to you next week. Bye.